this series of CEC Gurukul lecture, today we will discuss about equivalent production in the process costing. In my previous discussions on process costing, we have been discussing about what is process costing, what are the characteristics of the process costing, how accounting is being done in the process costing, and especially we discussed in our lectures about how we treat normal loss, how we treat abnormal loss, how we treat abnormal gain, and how the process accounts are being prepared. This we discussed. In today's lectures, my focus will be on equivalent production. That is, up till now in my previous discussions on process costing, we had presumed that there is no opening work in progress and there is no closing work in progress. But in today's discussion, we will talk about a situation where there may be work in progress in the beginning, there may be work in progress in the closing, and it can be both. There is in the beginning of the month or beginning of the period and at the end of the month. And for that, our basic focus is on equivalent production. That what is equivalent production? Process costing, as you are aware of by now, basically deals with those industries where I would put it this way, I would say that process costing is being used in those industries where the nature of production is of continuous flow and the product is standardized, right? In such industries, the process costing is being used. So in this process, at the end of the accounting period, we know that there may be some work in progress that is in form of semi-finished goods. That is, the work at the end of the period has not been fully completed, but it is only partially completed. And when it is partially completed, we call it work in progress. So the valuation of such work in progress is done in terms of equivalent or effective production. Equivalent production represents the production of a process in terms of completed units. Like, put it very simply, suppose there are 10,000 units that have been introduced, and out of that 10,000 units, the work that has been undertaken is being completed is only 50%. That is, on those 10,000 units, in terms of the overall work, you estimate that has been completed to the extent of 50% only. So I will say the equivalent production is 5,000 units. That is, whatever the work that is being undertaken on those units. So if the 50% of the completion has taken place on those units out of the total work, I would say the equivalent production is, or equivalent units are 5,000. So work in progress at the end of an accounting period are converted into equivalent or completed units. So this is done by the following formula. You may call it a formula, or you may say simply that this is being done basically in this manner, that equivalent production is equal to units completed. When I say units completed, what it means is that 100% completed, where the work has 100% been completed, plus units in the work in progress multiplied by degree of completion in the production. Supposing in a business, the units completed is, say for example, 1000, and on additional 500 units, there is a 50% work has been done. So I would simply say 1000 plus 50% of 500, that is 250. So I will put it this way, that the completed work is 1250, or put it that completed production is, or equivalent production is 1250. The example which you are seeing here, that if there are 50 units in work in progress and these are estimated to be 50% complete, then their equivalent production is 50% of 50 units, that is 25 units. So I hope by now you have understood what I mean by saying when I say equivalent production. So in each process, an estimate is made of the degree of completion of work in progress in terms of percentage. Friends, this is very important, that when work is in the progress, at the end of the period, you estimate, that is the management estimate, or the cost accounting, in the cost accounting department, we estimate that what is the degree of completion of the work. Because if this estimation goes wrong, then the whole calculation of equivalent production will also go wrong. So because of this reason we always say that whenever the degree of completion is being calculated or being estimated, it should be correctly estimated, otherwise the whole calculation will go wrong. So, such an estimate must be accurate, because any error in such estimation will lead to erroneous valuation of work in progress, which enters into the final progress. Means finally we will end up with wrong calculation of our costs of the process. After work in progress has been converted into equivalent completed units, the following steps taken to evaluate. That is, the very first step is you calculate the work in progress from the basis of the work in progress, and on the basis of degree of completion you calculate equivalent production. So, the equivalent production units is being calculated. Then the steps are: find out the total cost of each element of cost. That is, there are three elements broadly: material cost, labor cost and overhead cost. So, you estimate in terms of material how much work has been taken, in terms of labor how much work has been undertaken, and in terms of overheads what is the percentage of completion of the work that has been taken. And scrap value of the normal loss is deducted from the material cost. As you see in the very first line, I said find out the total cost, that is net cost of each element of cost. So, if there is any normal loss, the normal loss will be deducted from material cost. This point I will be discussing in length later on in my discussion. Ascertain the cost per unit. The next step is, the step number 2 is the ascertain the cost per unit of the equivalent production separately for each element of cost. That is, material cost, labor cost and overhead cost. For each of the element of cost, you calculate separately what is the per unit cost. Like in the industry, in a company, in the business, you may be knowing the total cost incurred on material, labor, overheads. And when we know the cost in total and equivalent production you have already calculated, so what you will do is you will divide the cost of each element of cost, that is material, labor and overhead, with the number of completion units. That will give you cost per unit. So, this is done by dividing the total cost of each element of the respective number of equivalent units. So, all this rate of cost per unit ascertain the value of finished production and work in progress. Means once you calculate the cost per unit, if you multiply this cost per unit by the finished goods, finished production, you will get the value of the finished production. If you multiply this cost per unit with the number of equivalent units or of the work in progress, you will able to know what is the value of work in progress. For the purpose of computation of equivalent production and its evaluation, the following 3 statements are generally prepared. Like friends, when you are being given an example, suppose like a practical situation in a business, suppose you deals in the oil business, oil refining business. So, in the oil refining business, the nature of the production is that it is of continuous flow, that the work of one process goes to the output of the one process goes to becomes the input of the second process, the output of the second process becomes the input of the third process till it is being completed. So, at each stage of the process there can be work in progress, right. So, the statements which we prepared while calculating the cost of the finished goods, while calculating the cost of work in progress, normally these statements are being prepared. Firstly, as I said in my previous discussion, statement of equivalent production, that how many units have been produced, especially in context of you will be requiring not only the finished production, but you will also be requiring the equivalent production of the work in progress. Secondly, statement of cost per unit. Statement of cost per unit is important so that you can calculate separately the value of work in progress, value of finished goods, and then you prepare statement of evaluation. So, evaluation will tell you the total picture of the process accounts, and basically these are working notes type. That is, finally you will have to prepare the process account, but before preparing the process account you will have to prepare this statement, these statements. So, the concept can be understood from the following 2 categories, like when there is no opening stock, when there is only closing stock of work in progress. That is, what I am saying is that we take a situation where we are presuming that there is no opening stock in the beginning and there is only closing stock of work in progress. In the beginning of the means you are starting afresh. The process is being started as a fresh, right? So there is no opening stock of work in progress. You may be getting, suppose in the process 2 or process 3, right? Next process. So in that process, there will be output or there will be input which has been taken from the previous process, but there is no opening work in progress as such. So we are presuming that situation where there is no opening stock when there is only closing stock of work in progress. So we are talking of work in progress. In such a situation, there may or may not be process losses. When there is opening as well as closing stock, here also there may or may not be process losses. That is, this is a situation when there is a opening as well as both. In the previous situation I said there is no opening stock of work in progress, there is only closing stock of work in progress. Now I am saying the other situation can be there is opening stock of work in progress as well as there is a closing stock of work in progress, right? And there may be process losses. When I am saying there may be, it means there may be process losses, there may not be process losses. So we are taking first case when there is no opening work in progress and process loss, means we are taking this situation first. The situation number 1. In such a case, valuation of work in progress in terms of equivalent production is comparatively simple, right? Procedure followed in this type of situation is showing in the following example. I am taking a practical situation that is a business like situation. If following are the facts, that is following are the expenses, following are the number of units, right, and so on and so forth, then how we will prepare all these statements and how we will prepare the process accounts and the loss account if there is any, right. So let us take this situation. Suppose in an examination like situation you are giving this question and how you will deal with it, right. So in a practical life or in an examination like situation, if these are the facts, how you will deal with it. So I say in process A on 1st May, means any period in the beginning of the period, there was no work in progress. During the month of May 2020, I am presuming the data is of May 2020, units of material were issued at a cost of rupees 18,000. That is, in the beginning the material cost is rupees 18,000. Labor and overheads totals rupees 9,000 and 6,600 respectively. That is, you have introduced the labor or the expenses on labor is 9,000 and expenses on overheads is 6,600, right. And on 31st May, we are presuming that this statement which we are presuming is a monthly statement. So on 31st May, 1,500 units were completed and transferred to the next process. On remaining 500 units which are incomplete, degree of completion is as follows. That is, out of the 2,000 units that have been introduced, 500 has been fully completed, that is 100% completed, and on remaining 500 units which we call it work in progress, right. So the degree of completion is as follows. Material, it is 100% completed, work is 100% completed. Labor, out of those 500 only 60% work has been completed, and on account of overhead also the 30% production, 30% completion has taken place. Now on the base of this fact, if these are the facts, what we are required is, you are required to prepare statement of equivalent production, statement of cost, statement of evaluation and process account. Now how you deal it, right. So let me take one by one. As I said earlier, the very first requirement is you calculate the equivalent production. That is, since there are finished goods and there are work in progress, so in total, and what is equivalent production? Finished production plus the work in progress multiplied by the degree of completion. On the basis of that, we calculate equivalent production. As you are seeing here, in the very first column, there are units introduced, 2,000 units. And then I say what is the output? FG means finished goods, WIP means work in progress, and then you add it. And third is the units. Then we have equivalent units of material, labor and OD means overheads. All the three we are calculating separately. How many units? As in this example, what you are given is that 2,000 units have been introduced, out of which 1,500 is 100% completed. That is being transferred, you may say, to the next process. So, as you are seeing here in these three columns, material columns, labor columns, overheads column, I have further subdivided it in two different columns, Q for quantity and percentage. So, for each of the element you will write the quantity, percentage, quantity, percentage, quantity, percentage. Since 1500 units have been fully completed in terms of material, labor, overheads, so you will write 1500, 100%, 1500, 100%, 1500, 100%. Then work in progress 500 units. Out of this 500 units, on account of material 100% completion, so I will say it is 100% 500. On account of labor, since the percentage is 60%, how many units you have introduced? 500. So 60% of 500 comes to be 300. So in the equivalent units column in labor, under the labor, I have written only 300. I have not written 500, I have written 300. That is 60% of 500. Similarly, under the overheads, the work completed of the work in progress on account of overhead is only 30%. So what we have done is that we have calculated 30% of 500, it comes to be 150. Right? Now, I will calculate the total equivalent units of each element of cost, that is material, labor, overheads. So material, on account of material, as you are seeing here, the 100% completion of work in progress has taken place as well as of finished goods. So 1500 plus 500, 2000. So in terms of material, I will say equivalent units are 2000. In terms of labor, 1500, and of work in progress 300, not 500, 300, 60% of 500, 300. So it comes to be 1800. And on accounts of overheads, OD means overheads, right? So 30% of 500, 150, 1500 plus 150, it comes to be 1650 units. That is 1650. So these are our equivalent units in terms of material, in terms of labor, and in terms of overheads. That is 2000 in terms of material, 1800 in terms of labor, and 1650 in terms of overheads. Now, on the base of this, you are preparing statement of cost. In this business, in this process account, I would say the material cost is 18,000, which is given to us. Labor cost is 9,000, again given. Overheads is also being given 6,600. Right? These are the expenses that have been incurred in this process account. Right? And equivalent production we have just calculated. In terms of material 2000, labor 1800, and overheads 1650. This you can check from here. This we have shown that material, labor, overheads, how many equivalent units are. Right? So what I have done is I have just noted down the equivalent production units from my previous statement. Right? Now we have calculated cost per unit, that is A divided by B. Total cost on account of material is 18,000. The units of equivalent production is 2000. So 18,000 divided by 2, that comes to be rupees 9 per unit. Right? In terms of labor, right, it is 9,000 and equivalent production is 1800. So it comes to be 5 rupees per unit. Right? And in terms of overhead, 6,600, right, and divide by 1650, that is our equivalent production, it comes to be 4 rupees. So this is cost per unit, that is 9 rupees for material, 5 rupees for labor, and 4 rupees for overheads. If you ask me what is the total cost, I will say rupees 18. That is material cost, labor cost, overhead cost comes to be 18 rupees per unit. So what we have done is, in the first statement what we have prepared is equivalent units, equivalent production for each of the three elements. The second statement which I have prepared is the statement of per unit cost. Basically my objective here is to show you that how we prepare the cost per unit, and I will repeat what I have said, that simply the cost divided by equivalent production will give you the cost per unit element wise. Right? The third statement which I will be preparing will be, that is, what is the statement of evaluation of the finished goods work in progress. So finished goods means what we are doing is we are calculating here the value of what is the total value of finished goods, what is the total value of work in progress, so that we can find out that while we will prepare the process account, we will able to show that how much value we put it assign as finished goods and how much value we assign to work in progress. So, as you are seeing, there are different columns: particulars, element of cost, equivalent production. EQUI means equivalent production, right? Because in order to save our space, we are showing here like this in the short form: equivalent production. Then you have a cost per unit, which you have already calculated, and cost, right? And finally the total cost, right? So, finished goods, the very first is the finished goods. Again, I will calculate the finished goods in terms of material, labor, overheads separately. Finished goods, you already know, the 1500 units for equivalent production. For each of these three elements, same, because it is 100% completion. So, 100% completion means for each of the element it will remain same. Cost per unit you have just calculated. So, what you would do is you have calculated the cost 1500 multiplied by 9, that comes to be 13,500, right? And in terms of labor, 1500 is equivalent production, cost per unit is 5, and the total cost means the cost on account of labor of finished goods is 7,500. Then finally of overheads 1500, and the cost per unit which you had earlier calculated 4 rupees per unit, that comes to be 6,000. So, the total value, if you add up all these three, that is 13,500, 7,500 and 6,000, what you get is the value of the finished goods. So, I hope you have understood this, that material cost, labor cost, overhead cost, the finished goods value is 27,000. Now, you calculate the value of work in progress. The way we calculated the value of finished goods, in the similar manner we can also calculate the value of work in progress, right? Only the difference is that in the work in progress, in the finished goods, each element of the material, labor, overhead is same, but here since the degree of completion on each element is different, so the number of equivalent production will be also be different, and again you will multiply it by the cost per unit, you will get the cost of each element of the work in progress. So, material 500, which we have already calculated, 100% completed. So, 9 rupees is the per unit cost, that comes to be 9 multiplied by 500, 4500. In terms of labor, equivalent production 300 multiplied by cost per unit, that comes to be 1500, and finally overheads 150 equivalent production multiplied by cost per unit, that is 4 rupees. What you are noticing is cost per unit remains same, whether it is equivalent, whether it is finished goods or work in progress, that comes to be 600. So, the total cost of the work in progress is 6,600. Now you prepare the process account on the basis of these very statements which we have prepared. I am repeating, right? To start with, first of all, we have calculated the equivalent production units. The first objective is to calculate equivalent units of finished goods as well as work in progress. Second is to calculate per unit, right? And then finally you have calculated the value of finished goods and the work in progress, right? So, on the basis of these statements, now you will prepare the process account, and in the process account, as you are aware that what we have already discussed, the material cost and the labor cost, the overhead cost, we write it on the debit side. All costs are being shown on the debit side. There are 3 columns on the debit side: particulars, PAR means particulars here, right? Particulars, units, rupees. Similarly, on the credit side, there are 3 columns: particulars, units, amount, right? So, on the debit side, we are showing the total cost and the total units. 2000 units, the total cost is 33,600, right? Out of this, then you have on the credit side, there are finished goods and which has been transferred, or not, I will not say finished goods, I will say the units that have been transferred to the next process. 1500 units, the value we have calculated in my previous slide, that is in the previous statement, 27,000 rupees. This value we have shown here, right? Next process, next transfer to next process, that is 1500 units and 27,000 rupees. Work in progress, CD 500 units, 6,600. Again we have calculated this, the value of work in progress 6,600. So, the total is 33,600, friends. So, in this manner, friends, you can prepare the process account, right. So, this is all about the equivalent production. We will continue our discussion, but this is about a situation when there is no process losses and there is opening there is no opening stock, there is only closing stock. We will continue this discussion on equivalent production by taking a new situation. Thank you.